Jocko, do you still respect people without discipline?
Interesting. Okay, so first of all, my baseline as a person is to respect people. Yeah. That's my baseline. Now, that is not the same as something we've talked about before, which is that doesn't mean I expect a lot from them, okay? You see the big difference there? Yes. I respect people. Hey, I respect you. I respect what you're doing. That doesn't mean I expect that you're going to be humble or you're going to be hardworking or you're going to be brave or you're going to even be a slightly decent human being. I don't expect any of that. But let me phrase this carefully. That doesn't mean I don't treat them with respect. Now, you notice I just changed this.
Yes.
It's not just about I actually respect you. It's I'm going to treat you with respect. There's a big difference, right?
Yes.
I'm going to treat everyone with respect. But as far as actually respecting someone, no, I'm not just automatically respecting people. Now, I'll treat them with respect because I don't know who they are. I don't know what struggles they've had in their life. I don't know what they've been through. I don't know that, so I'm going to treat them with respect. And it's very similar, like a jiu-jitsu perspective. You don't know, okay, jiu-jitsu perspective, no gi, right? Yeah, you don't know how good someone is.
No belt, yeah.
You don't. And this is another thing. When you know how good someone is, and let's say you're better than them, if you really understand jiu-jitsu, you realize that you're better than them because you've been training longer, fundamentally, right? Of course, are there some people that are just amazing athletes? Sure. But 98% of the people, you've just been training longer than them. Or you just were born a lot bigger than them or a lot stronger than them. But you look at them and say, you know what? If we flip this around and this person been training longer, I'd be the one getting crushed.
Right.
So there's that. Now, So yes, I treat people with respect, and my attitude is generally to say, look, I don't know what they've been through, so I'm gonna treat them that way. Now, that being said, when someone just throws away their potential because they lack discipline, that kind of bothers me. I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't respect them, but I am definitely disappointed. And in conditions where there is a gross lack of discipline, just a gross lack of discipline, I do move beyond just mere disappointment, and I do get into the realm of I do not respect that person because they lack discipline. So, there you go.
So it's like a respect meter kind of thing, and you're starting at the baseline
kind
of thing?
Yeah, I always start with treating everyone with respect.
Yeah.
I'm going to treat everyone with respect.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who you're disrespecting.
Yeah.
Right? Who are you disrespecting? I mean, you could be disrespecting. First of all, you could be disrespecting someone that is been through a lot that maybe you should learn from. You could be, you're walking down the street and you could disrespect someone that's a psychopath with a gun.
Yeah.
And now you're in a shootout with them. People are getting, you're probably going to win if you train hard. But still,
probably, yeah.
Innocence might be, bystanders. You just don't know you just know who people are.
Yeah.
And that's a good lesson to learn from jiu-jitsu, man. You don't know how good people are. You don't know, not just how well they train, but what have they been through that day in their life.
Yeah.
You meet some people in the wrong day, and that could be really a real problem.
Yeah.
So just be careful. And you know what's funny? I was thinking about this. That being said, my buddy from Scotland, his name is Colin, and he sent me a text the other day, and he was listening to the podcast, and he's a very avid listener of the podcast. And he said, finally, after 94 podcasts, I understand what that being said means. And he's right. He said that being said is basically the verbalization of the dichotomy of leadership and of life and of things and of the world. Because that being said is when you recognize that one side of things is balanced by another side of things.
Yeah.
And it's true in everything there is, right? Like you could say jiu-jitsu is the best martial art. That being said, if someone wrestled in college and they're 262 pounds and you're 145 pounds, it's going to be problematic for you. Yeah. And you could say it about leadership. Yeah. Hey, it's good to be aggressive and assertive. That being said, if you're overly aggressive, no one's going to want to work for you. So
Yeah.
it applies across the board. It's those opposing forces.
Yep.
So I think it's a good tool
Mm-hmm.
to use when you think about things. What is the other side of the argument? What is the other side of the situation?
Yeah.
And knowing and studying the other side will make you understand everything better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, it can be very difficult to understand anything
Very
fully.
hard. And that's life, really, right? So the no expectation, and I know we talked about this before, but you say, I don't have any expectations. That's
I have
different.
very low expectations.
So even low
for people.
expectation, a lot of times people will take that as like you expect low performance out of me, which is different. That's different.
No.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
means-
You're right. You are correct.
So
Yes.
yeah, because that essentially means that you do have expectations. They're just like negative. I expect like low performance out of you. I expect you to do the wrong thing or something like that.
My expectations are low. My hope is high.
Yeah.
I hope that you are a hardworking, very diligent, squared away human being. That's
So technically, obviously the difference between expecting poor performance or just having a clean slate, no real expectations, and I'm going to take things the way they come. Obviously, you know the difference there. So what would you call when someone says, I have low expectations of you? Sounds like they expect you to do junk.
Yeah, that does. That sounds bad. I have
Yeah.
low expectations.
Right. So, but
So
when
I
you
guess-
put your hands up and say, hey, no expectations,
Okay.
that sounds different.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right. So
So-
I guess
so it depends.
my expectations are closer to the no expectations.
Right.
Yeah, I don't expect negativity,
Yes.
but I don't expect much either.
Yeah.
Human beings, I like to set a low bar.
Right. And then let them
And be
let
pleasantly
be impressed.
surprised.
Yeah, makes sense. So it's kind of like the expectation or respect and the respect meter is kind of at this cool acceptable baseline, right? Just fundamental stuff.
Yeah, fundamental stuff,
Don't whatever.
Yeah.
Don't step on my feet on purpose the first time you meet me, kind of thing. And then with every little action, big or small, with every experience with that person, the meter either goes up or it goes down. And it
Yeah.
depends on the
Yeah.
violation or the whatever the element that's going to impress you, right? So
Right.
let's say someone, it's weird now. You know how like we get impressed by like stuff that it seems like you're supposed to do.
Did you just say we? Because are you talking about me too?
I think so.
Okay,
I don't know.
interesting.
That's a total assumption, but like, okay, are you impressed with people who keep their word?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an example. So you're supposed to keep your word. That's what your word is. You keep it. That's kind of what the whole defining characteristic of
So you're
your
saying
word is.
you're saying some other person might say, "Well, I just expect people to
Right,
keep their
you're
word."
supposed to do that. I remember like how Chris Rock on his little stand-up thing, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, people want like credit for stuff you're supposed to do." Like he's like, "I take care of my kids." It's like, yeah, you're supposed to take care of your kids, kind of thing. But when you think about it, are you impressed with someone who takes good care of their kids? You kind of are, right?
Yeah.
But that's not to say you expect them not to, though.
Right.
Really, it's
you
weird.
you just have what I'm saying, which is close leaning towards no expectations.
Yes, and then when you experience it,
There you
you
go.
kind of
That's
fall
nice.
on one side of it,
Person's-
whether it be
yeah,
like, yes,
person's cool.
that makes me happy. It makes me happy that you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's what it is right there, right?
Pretty much.
Like when you showed up today, I was happy.
Wait,
You
mean
were
when
ahead of
showed
time.
up?
Well, yeah. When I showed up and
Yeah.
saw you here,
Yeah.
I was happy you were here.
Yeah, that's
but you're
good.
supposed to be here. We agreed we were going to be here,
Right.
right? But
And
I
so
was
you-
happy.
Well, that's cool. I guess.
I
Maybe
wasn't.
you were just stoked to see me.
But yeah, I wasn't impressed, but I was happy.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it.
I
Anyway,
don't even know what you're getting the bottom to, but maybe we could do another question.
just your expectations and respect. Really the whole the meticulous and specific dynamics of that. That's what we're going for there.
Okay.
I think. Anyway, next question. Cool.
Yeah, real cool.